Hey, what's up and how's it going, everyone? Well, I'm so glad that you have took your time to spend with me right here today on the MRB's Wrestling Review Show. I am your co-host, Mike McRock Wilson, and last night was WWE Monday Night Raw, and the show kicked off when the COO, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon addressing the locker room in the ring while they had pretty much half of the locker room lined up again on the ramp with the microphone. And of course, some superstars did speak out, like Rob Van Dam. And what's interesting now is that Triple H had planted a little bit of a seed where the superstars are fighting for Daniel Bryan and not for themselves, and talking about how these individuals should be, making statements for their own instead of one person, Daniel Bryan. And with that being said, I like how, Triple H is trying to make a swerve in the locker room and have the superstars go up the ladder themselves rather than depend on the top guy, which is probably not the best way to go. And for that reason, I think guys like Rob Van Dam, Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston should be, either in rivalries with each other or going their separate paths instead of going on the same path. And with all that being said, when Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were in the ring, it feels like, Stephanie McMahon is the dominant authority figure of the two, and Triple H feels like the, yeah, okay, honey, kind of guy. So for that reason, I think that Stephanie McMahon is more of a heel than Triple H, because it seems like Triple H has been doing things that a babyface would, and it's weird in the direction they're going with this power trip with these two. So we'll see how it all plays out in the weeks to come. Battleground, Hell in a Cell, Survivor Series. Also last night, the World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio defeated Kofi Kingston. It was a pretty good match, and what I also like is that Kofi Kingston done double duty as well, because earlier we see Triple H and Stephanie McMahon mention that the main event will be an 11-on-3 handicap match where will be the locker room, the baby faces in the locker room, facing up against the Shield. And what's really weird is that Triple H is kind of throwing the Shield under the bus. The Shield are at a disadvantage, and it's like, Triple H is getting everyone to hate him, and it's not just the baby faces. It feels like that Triple H is getting everyone to hate him, and I think that, that's kind of in a way, a smart way to go if you want to go on this power trip. Have everyone hate you. Not just the good guys, but the villains as well. And also, we see the Primetime Players in a tag team match against Eric Rowan and Luke Harper of the Wyatt family. And I like the little things Luke Harper done in that match. In the beginning, where he kind of pushed his partner to the corner, so that he'll start the match. I like the little things he was doing, and that was one of them. I thought that was one of the weirdest things I've seen done in a tag team match. It's really different, it's unique and cool. The only thing I don't like about the Wyatt family is that Bray Wyatt is not very good in the ring. I would much rather see him cutting promos and being the creepy guy. And just have and the only other thing I don't like is that they have to have a target, something big, something legit, a superstar who's as weird as they are. Big Show, I don't know, it's a possibility, but anyone I think the Wyatt family should have that one target individual in mind instead of just having these tag team matches over and over and over. Also last night we see the Big Show appeared on Miz TV. And what happened was that Triple H was the one that told The Miz that you will have Miz TV and you'll have the Big Show as a guest. The Big Show came out. You could tell by The Miz, he knows how to sell the emotions pretty well when it comes to what happened the week before. And with that being said, the way The Miz sold that punch again is one of those things that really stood out. And I understand now that The Miz is injured. And what's also interesting is that the Big Show is not the whiny, crying Big Show as we've seen in the past few weeks. Because it felt like what happened last week with the Big Show and Dusty Rhodes was the tipping point of the Big Show. So we probably figure, why cry about it anymore? Just, if the boss lady tells you to do something, just do it. When a Big Show do, turn Miz around, pow, knocked him out. And Stephanie McMahon was absolutely incredible. Really just delivering that heel promo in that segment as well. Also, we saw Randy Orton facing Rob Van Dam, and we went to a no contest. And what I like is that this new transformation of Randy Orton is pretty good, as well as, Daniel Bryan being this guy who's the leader of the locker room. So it's going to be interesting to see what takes place at Battleground for this vacated WWE Championship. And it's kind of going in a direction where it's not as predictable as what happened at Night of Champions and at SummerSlam. So for that reason, I think this main event will be just a little bit better. And because the title is vacated, so we're definitely going to see a new champion, because we saw Daniel Bryan win the WWE Championship. We see Randy Orton being defeated by Daniel Bryan, and we see Randy Orton always having momentum when it comes to the Monday Night Raw matches and segments. He's the one that's dominating the other guy, no matter who he's in the ring with, and Rob Van Dam was that guy that he went over last night on Raw. Also last night, Fandango defeated Santino Marella in a one-on-one match, and win or lose, Santino is absolutely amazing. He's fun to watch, and Fandango right now on a winning streak. He's looking good right now. The only thing I wish he would do is change his finishing maneuver, because one day his hip is going to meet up to his shoulder. And for that reason, I think, Fandango needs to come up with some sort of menacing finishing maneuver, an alternative to the leg drop, and just leave the leg drop for special occasions. Also, we see CM Punk coming out and delivering this awesomely spectacular promo on the microphone, wearing the Chicago Blackhawks sweater, jersey. The show was in Chicago, and he just got an incredible ovation on Raw. And I find that CM Punk and Paul Heyman are the guys that are really cutting it good on the microphone, and they're at a really high level. They raised the bar, and everyone else is just under those two guys. And it's a shame, really, because these other superstars should work more on their microphone skills. And Daniel Bryan is one of those guys who's also heading up there as well. He's a guy that I think, no matter what he says, I'm always interested in. And with the CM Punk promo, he just captivated me so much. I was really, glued to the TV while he was talking about how the Chicago Blackhawks were down 3-1, and they came back and won the Stanley Cup. Talking about never giving up. He's an excellent motivational speaker, and it's so amazing for him to come out and do that. And when Paul Heyman interrupted, he came out with the scooter. It's like he stole that scooter from Big Johnny, John Laurinaitis. People power. And with that being said, Paul Heyman, absolutely incredible. And what was also interesting that we kind of have this old school vibe to this rivalry with CM Punk and Paul Heyman. The only thing I wish to happen is that it will end soon, because it feels like it's dragging out now just a little bit too long. Hopefully it does end at Battleground. But what happened on Raw when CM Punk asked Paul Heyman, "Can I get to you before you two guys get to me?" was absolutely incredible. And when he got to Paul Heyman, the two guys, Ryback and Curtis Axel, came from both sides and just attacked CM Punk, totally on the annihilation. When Ryback put Punk through the table, it was absolutely incredible. And what I also like is that that Ryback is becoming a parody of himself, and it's really, really actually entertaining. And I think I'm starting to get on board with it. And being with Paul Heyman just adds a little taste, is icing on the cake. So with that being said, it's a win-win situation right now for Ryback. I'm actually enjoying what Ryback is doing now for the past couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw. Also, we saw Natalya, the Bella Twins, and the Funkadactyls defeating the Divas Champion AJ Lee, Alicia Fox, Oksana, Layla, and Tamina. The only thing I don't like about that match is that we never got to see all those divas. And with that being said, I think that's a little bit too much for a Divas match on Raw. The only thing I wish for something that happened in the Divas division is that they need to focus just on a group of divas, just a few superstars like AJ, Naomi, who else? Alicia Fox and Layla. And it seems like Layla and Tamina are like nowhere to be seen for some weird reason, even though they were a part of that match, which sucks. And also, I think if they bring up Emma and Paige to the main roster, which I think will probably happen soon rather than later, will really rejuvenate the Divas division. I think something like that should happen in the Divas division. Also last night, we saw Daniel Bryan addressing the WWE Universe before we get to the main event, and I thought, like I said before, last night on Raw, Daniel Bryan is excellent on the microphone, and I could just listen to him all day. And when we had the 11-on-3 match, it was Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, Rob Van Dam, R-Truth, Zack Ryder, Kofi Kingston, Justin Gabriel, the Usos, and the Primetime Players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, facing off against the Shield's Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. And what's interesting is that I think the guys that really benefited from that match were the Usos, Roman Reigns, and Dolph Ziggler. I thought that Reigns last night was incredible. I think that Reigns was the dominant, he's the one that gained the most benefit from this match, because he was the dominant guy on the show. I thought, him going over four superstars in that match, pinning four superstars with a spear, was absolutely incredible. And having him in a legit match, one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler, again, absolutely incredible. Especially in the last few minutes where the Usos were the guys to really step up as well, and I think that they benefited from that match. But he also had guys like Zack Ryder, R-Truth, and Justin Gabriel, who were surprisingly in that main event match. I thought that those three guys were the three guys that I thought surprisingly got, TV time. And I think that it was a good thing that they had TV time because we forgot about these guys. But in the same time, it's like they were only there for a few seconds and that was it. Also on Raw, before the 11-on-3 match happened, we saw Cody Rhodes and Goldust just out of the blue attack the Shield, and that was just incredibly amazing. I thought that Goldust and Cody Rhodes coming out last night was probably the greatest thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, and I saved the greatest thing for last because that was my review of Monday Night Raw. I think that Cody Rhodes and Goldust are going to lean towards some sort of match between the Shield, and will probably have their father, Dusty Rhodes, involved in that match. And I probably mentioned that before, and I think the more I think about it, the more I believe that will probably happen. This Friday on SmackDown, you'll see a United States Championship match when Dean Ambrose goes one-on-one against Dolph Ziggler for the United States Championship. I am your co-host for the MRB Wrestling Review Show, Mike McRock Wilson. And to all your viewers watching, get plenty of rest and always do your best.